Should probably add myself to the show. Hello. It's Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and Brass Ring Media. I almost said OneTrueSportTV.com. That's not the case anymore. But I am live, and I am here with you today to preview AEW Dynamite, the go-home show before Double or Nothing, baby. Who is ready? Who is excited? I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. Anybody? I'm kind of excited. Should be a pretty neat show. Looked at the lineup. The card is still young for AEW. There's likely much more, at least 5 more matches to be announced, right? If you're going by what AEW typically does. We'll have to wait and see on that. But let's say hi to some folks in the chat. Ron Ward, first to enter the arena. Welcome, RNI faithful, to day 3 of Robert's grounding for not calling his mother on Mother's Day. Do you think that's what happened? Maybe that is. Triple E says, "What's up?" and then adds that Robert is in one of the barrels that is behind Dom at the place he records. He's at Trace Brewing. He's hiding out in one of the barrels. Johnny Disco says, "Good day, RNI. Any word on Billy and not the CW? I thought some potential news on a streaming deal for NWA." Boy, yeah, at some point, I guess that's one juncture or another. We'll have to try to cover Billy and not the CW anymore. But yes. Can't get to it today, unfortunately. Dreon says, "Hello, RNI, NWA, and Women's of Wrestling coming to streaming." Ooh. Johnny Disco says, "Is this going to be another Oops All Chat episode?" Kind of, sort of. We are going to preview Dynamite, though. These Dom solo shows should be a thing on another platform. Dom, if you had your own podcast where you had more than 15 minutes to go over things, what would you call it? Good question. Good question. Because I do the other show, the Hotline, the Daily Hotline, that's at least 15 minutes. Or not least, almost 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. I don't know what I would call my own solo show to be on. Dom Solo? How about that? That's my Xbox gamer tag, by the way, Dom Solo. Maybe that would be it. Hope you don't jinx the Knicks wearing that hat. I know. I'm taking the risk, though. I'm a root for the Knicks. I love Jalen Brunson. I love how the team plays. Tom Thibodeau. They play like an older school NBA team, and so I appreciate that. But kind of so did the Pacers too, right? And they play that same kind of basketball, so it's pretty cool that both these teams are in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they have such a storied rivalry with one another. Very pro wrestling, as you could tell. WWE is really embracing that feud between Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson. I really think they do. Brass Ring Media, Zach Cador and Brass Ring Media talked about this yesterday, how heavy-handed WWE kind of has gotten with this this game and this feud. Obviously, like they did the tease on SmackDown months ago between these two, with Jalen playing the babyface role and Halliburton playing the heel. Yeah, I think sometimes WWE really leans into it a little too much. They've always kind of done that, even with Vince McMahon, even more so with Vince McMahon at the helm. Like co-opting this, everything when they did the yes chants. Now Michael Cole, even to an extent, doing yeeting just takes away the fun factor of it if you have Michael Cole yeeting in certain ways. And so sometimes it's better to let things breathe a little bit. And I liked Halliburton's quote unquote interview on Raw. I thought that was pretty well done and a fun thing to do because it is unique. It's a unique situation. So I think there's a good reason to kind of embrace that a little bit. But yeah, I like to the extent where it's just like, hey, look at, we set this all up basically and everything like that. It's just like, I understand the want to do that. I just don't think it's actually that cool. What I would like to see is them, and I think it was Public Enemy's podcast. They actually did like they dubbed "My Way" by Limp Bizkit over Jalen Brunson and Halliburton confronting one another on SmackDown. I think WWE should really do a video package on that and just take that again because that's the way you add excitement and intrigue to it. Make it your own. Devin Dowling thinks Sammy Guevara about to be a double champ. Interesting. Dre Owens, we're gonna get to Dynamite here. I think they had like 5 matches on tap announced or something. Um, Hi to Cammy, Eric, Marius Sinjanyo says hello. Hey man, how are you, man? Good to see you. Johnny Disco suggests Dom's thoughts. Cammy says, I like Cole Yeating. Naked him look human and not a Vince robot. Makes him look human and not a Vince robot. It still kind of does, I think. It makes him feel like, okay, hey Cole, why don't you eat too? I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it when the stream doesn't start automatically for me. I wonder what happened. Ron. I can't help you there. Basketball is all work. Hey, if you checked out that NBA draft, it sure seems like it, right? You know, doesn't I mean I feel like old man yelling at clouds, but when you had Jordan and the Jazz, and you had all these teams feuding with one another, it felt like a bigger deal and it felt like it meant more. Plus, there's not any defense being played anymore. That's kind of why I like the Knicks. They play more defense, and so does the Pacers too, I think. So, all right. Well, I guess we should preview some Dynamite. I don't have any NXT thoughts because I didn't watch it Triple E. It's something that I want to put on my radar a little bit more, but I just haven't had the ability or the drive to put that on my radar when I'm covering Dynamite, covering Raw, try to cover SmackDown to a certain extent. Then I just have all the other elements of RVD, Fonzie, Gagne Magnum, all the daily and this daily show too in itself. So haven't hasn't hit my radar yet. Did I say Raw too? Covering Raw. Anywho, let's cover a little bit of Dynamite here, shall we? Let's see if I can pull up. Of course, I get rid of the lineup out of my windows here. I don't know why I tend to do that here. I had the whole lineup here too. It stinks. Here we go, rundown. All right. Do you guys know where it's hailing from tonight, Dynamite? It is Albuquerque, New Mexico, home of Walter White, home of oh my God, what is this? I think I know the actor, but I don't know. Home of Breaking Bad, Jesse Pinkman. Man, I love that show. This might be a hot take here. Now, who here is a fan of Breaking Bad? I loved Breaking Bad. I thought it was an awesome, really, really fun show. But I have to say, I like Better Call Saul better than Breaking Bad. Is that a hot take? Because I just like the character of Jimmy McGill / Saul Goodman, and to see him kind of break his own bad was cool to see. And at the same turn, though, he seemed like overall like a better person than Walter White was. He was much more likable, and Bob Odenkirk did a great job in that role. So that is my my AMC / Breaking Bad hot take cooking for you. Oh, well, that's not necessarily a hot take, I would say. But you never watched Breaking Bad or Walking Dead. Walking Dead, I was hooked on for quite a while, but I want to say once it got to like the 4th season or something, it seemed stupid. It was just like they were going around in circles. It very much felt sometimes like an AEW product in certain ways, where it's just like, we've been through this already. We know how this is going to happen. Somebody probably won't die. They're all like, it's just stupid. It lost its path. It got off the beat path there. All right, let's take a look at Dynamite card. Albuquerque, New Mexico. MJF signs his contract to join the Hurt Syndicate. So MJF hyped this on X already today. What do you think's going to happen here? I don't think he's joining the Hurt Syndicate. Let's just put it that way. I do think who is going to backstab who in this, though? History will tell me that it's going to be MJF. MJF will maybe act like he's going to join the Hurt Syndicate, but I think he's got some plans in place that might include maybe FTR, or could include some other people we're not expecting. But I don't think he'll be joining the Hurt Syndicate tonight. And I think that will be a choice by MJF and not by Bobby Lashley, MVP, or Shelton Benjamin. If somebody else feels a certain different way, let me know in the chat here. Hammerstone would be great. Hammerstone is a free agent. He's not signed with anybody. Richard Holiday, in the same form, is too. Would they really go to the Dynasty? I loved that faction. That was one of the best factions in wrestling. Was the Dynasty that included MJF, Richard Holiday, Alex Hammerstone, and for a time Gino Medina. But the three core guys were Hammerstone, Holiday, and MJF, and it was a really really fun, well done faction that was credible and like one of the top groups in MLW at the time. And so I would love to see that. I would love to see that, and I think that would be a really really cool thing to have. So both those guys are free agents. So hey, why not try to make it happen? I hope they do. I hope it's Hammerstone announced, I think on X just yesterday or the day before, that he's taking bookings and stuff like that. I would love to think that would be like a red herring of like, that's he's actually signed with AEW, but we'll have to see on that. Who knows? It would be a cool move. They have a good chemistry and synergy with one another, and they're all have great personalities and charisma. So it was a fun thing that they did like 5 years ago, and it ran for a couple years and really well. And the story played out in a really well done fashion. So that would be great. There we go. Oh, Devin Dowling has Hammerstone lost at Thrillbilly Silas Mason Saturday at the NWA Crockett Cup. So there you go. So we'll have to see. If I had to guess, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we'll see Hammer or Holiday on AEW, but I think we should. All right. We also have Mina Shirakawa versus Julia Hart with Tony Storm on commentary. Now, this made me do some thinking. All right. Julia Hart, arguably one of your rising stars in AEW, especially in the female and the women's division. Like, positioned really well, great music, really created an identity for herself in a situation where she was just like a female cheerleader with the varsity. What were they called? My God, with Pillman and Griff Garrison. What was that team called? Shame. That was a great team too, and they never utilized them in their best possible way. But Julia Hart is a rising star in her own right, and what we're going to get here is losing to Mina Shirakawa to build to Tony Storm versus Mina at Double or Nothing this weekend. It seems stupid. It is stupid, I think. I don't like it. I think you need to protect some of these talents that you're doing, and we don't see anything with Julia Hart. Like, it's such a shame. Like, I think of when she gets announced on a match and stuff like that. Oh yeah, they have Julia Hart. They should be really using her. And then sadly, I forget about her because she's not on television. Maybe she's on Collision, but I joked that I don't necessarily consider Collision canon in AEW because I don't watch it, just like a lot of people don't. It's unfortunate, but it is the truth. So the fact that they don't use Julia Hart in the right manner is very upsetting. And hopefully that's not going to be the same case for Willow Nightingale, who confirmed that she signed a multi-year contract with the company. Congrats to her. I love Willow. My daily hotline, I think today, will consist of talking about Willow Nightingale and the value that she can add to AEW. Thank you, guys. Varsity Blondes. That's the name of the team. Devin Dallin hit it first, and then Dre Owens followed up with that. So that is another thing on tap. Yeah, Tony Storm's always great on commentary. Just think it's a shame that they're just likely jobbing Julia Hart out to Mina Shirakawa here. Hey, we get Will Ospreay and Hangman Page face to face. Be good to get these guys together. I don't think they necessarily need to do too much more, to be honest. I think Will Ospreay did a great job. And so did Hangman, like kind of drawing a line in the sand 2 weeks ago at Dynamite, and then they teamed up with one another last week. So you don't need to do too much here, I don't think. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully they keep it short and sweet, and maybe you just raise the stakes in a certain way where Ospreay slaps Hangman or vice versa or something. You get something good going, get a little pull apart happening, and there, move, you're good to go. We also have Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Monet meeting face to face as well. Um, depending on what you do with this, I mean, it's Mercedes Monet. I think has to win this whole thing, and I like it, but it is also telling to have somebody like Jamie Hayter potentially lose in this match because again, she's another star that you want to really try to protect and get over at the same time. But I think Mercedes Monet is such a name that they really need to make the most of here. That she has not been in the women's world title picture since she showed up in AEW. And so I think you need to get her into the mix. So what I would do with Hayter is probably have her get the upper hand on Mercedes before the show here, before Double or Nothing. All right, and then also on tap we have John Moxley and the Young Bucks teaming up against Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Swerve Strickland. So cool stuff. Adds value to Powerhouse Hobbs, who I also think should be highly, highly positioned in AEW as your next big star because you've stopped and go on and you've pushed and pulled names like him included. And then Wardlow, they've gone hot and cold. Powerhouse Hobbs, I think, is somebody that you can still make a big, big star out of. Like something that we've seen with Wardlow that they allowed to have happen is him cut promos and show personality and do things like that. And so and his stops and goes has been so much more significant because he was super over and then AEW's pulled the rug out from under him several times, unfortunately. With Hobbs, I think it still stands that he hasn't cut a lot of promos. We haven't really heard him behind the mic all that much. So I think there's a lot of capability you can have with Powerhouse Hobbs. Now, I know I'm going way off the reservation because the focus is not going to be Hobbs tonight. It will be Moxley, it'll be Swerve, and it'll be the Young Bucks. So I think that will be the primary. And so Hobbs is just in this situation, but man, they got to make. He's somebody that I would really dog ear into making one of your top main eventers here because I think there's still a chance for him here. So nope. Darby has climbed Mount Everest. He's done it. So congrats to him. I believe he did a diamond cutter symbol at the top of the mountain, and I believe DDP was very happy about that. But he was the first person in his group. He was the only person in his group to be the first timer to do it. Everybody else had experience climbing Mount Everest before. Darby was the first in his own group to do it. So congrats to him. That's really cool. Like, it's definitely something that not a lot of people do, obviously. I wouldn't do it. Hell no. I can barely walk up a hill. I can walk up a hill. But, I hope this marks the end for Darby wanting to do some stuff outside of wrestling for now. Like, I hope this kind of, hey, I got that off my bucket list, which is a very cool thing to do. Get off your bucket list in that regard. If that's what you want to do, if you're a risk taker like Darby is and a daredevil like Darby is, I'm sure climbing Mount Everest is on your bucket list. But now that that's said and done, let's focus maybe on wrestling if that's what you really, really want. And I would show that to AEW. Look, I'm ready here. I'm here for the long haul. You got me. But I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to be the guy to take the ball and run with it. And so take the skateboard and glide with it and ride with it. I don't know. So let's see what he does. Because, I mean, if he's still got more aspirations outside of wrestling, which is fine, you can like ultimately in the grand scope of everything, but wrestling should be your number one thing here. If you're Darby, I mean, if that's what you really want. But if it's not, then I don't think he should be necessarily positioned in, a world title reign of some sort or anything to that effect. I think it would ultimately be good for him and AEW if he won the world title, but because of what he's meant to the company since its inception and stuff like that, he's been a story that people have followed along with. Now, I think a lot of people might disagree with that, considering his size and maybe where they think and his promo ability, it's not the best, but I think you can really make a strong case for him having a world title reign in AEW because he's unique. I mean, I do. He's not on the level of a historic uh, level of a Rey Mysterio, but I certainly think he's his own unique kind of exception to the smaller guy rule when it comes to pro wrestling. I think he can fit that bill of a world champion because he's unique in style and everything like that. It would just be a matter of him wanting to be uh, quote unquote the face of AEW, even though I think you have a lot of potential for other faces in AEW. But I mean, if he's one of your pillars, so to speak, then and he wants to be that pillar, I think that's the primary key aspect of it all. Then yeah, there's some value in it, I think. Devin Dowling says Darby should have been the first man and came back last week down from the ceiling into the steel cage. That'd been interesting. He was still at Mount Everest though at that point, so I don't think he really could have logistically. Dre says Darby joins Swerve as the fifth man. Be interesting. Somebody I thought wasn't it Wrestling Old Head? Didn't Wrestling Old Head suggest Eddie Kingston, which I think would be great. You get Eddie back in the mix. You're helping out your babyface side quite a bit in that one. Check the bucket list. Now come to Throne Mox. I don't think now would be the time to do it for Darby to dethrone Mox. I mean, I think probably what they're gonna do, unfortunately, well, to an extent, I unfortunately is the aspect of the Death Riders angle. That's the unfortunate aspect. I think that should be over and done with. I'm sick of it. I think a lot of us are sick of it. So, I mean, I don't want to see that be the big headline match at. Oh my God, what is it? What's the big show? Oh my God, help me out here. What is it? My God, it's All Out. No, All In, All In, at All In. Like, because it's gonna be Osprey versus Mox probably at All In, and I think there's more value in something else being your headline match than that. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, Hangman is dethroning Mox, calling that now too. Okay, so Dre thinks it's Hangman. I think, well, I guess it has been a Hangman story, hasn't it? Like everybody says it's Hangman story in AEW. That's the main story they've been telling since the beginning of the company. So, I mean, I think you can make a case for that. But I also just think Ospreay is the guy you really want to put your chips behind right now. He's the baby face. He's the ultimate baby face. So him being the one to put an end to this Death Riders mess, I think is also serendipitous in certain ways. Oh my God. Wrestling Old Head's throwing it out there. Want to know the scariest premise? If Mox wins it All In, my gosh, that would just be shooting yourself and the company in the foot, in both feet. My God, yeah, boy, ugh, don't want to do that. Do not want to do that. But I tell you what, you do want to do. You want to maybe upgrade your money game. How do you protect your things, your essentials that you carry with you on your person, and that can be no better than Ridge Wallet. Ridge is such an awesome wallet. I am so happy with this sponsorship. Rumor and Innuendo has it as a sponsor this week, and we do have a special deal for you guys. But there's just so much to say about this product. I love it. It is seriously one of my favorite products we've got to sponsor so far. I was so excited when we got the email that we had these as a sponsor, and they were like, "Hey, we're going to send you one." And sure enough, I got it, and it fits great. It's so compact, small. It's way smaller than your actual wallet, but it's got some heft to it, so you know where it's at all times. It's got a little money clip on there, so when you get your wrestling paydays, you can put your cash in the back there. And but yeah, it can fit up several cards there. But the neat aspect is it's really gettable. You can access your cards quite easily, slide them on out there, so to speak. So yeah, there's my debit card, there's my insurance card. I got 4 different cards in here, so I keep them nice and protected in this, and really great stuff. On top of it too, do I have my keys? Yes, I do. Hold on. Oh, got the keys right here. You can check these keys out too. You can get them in a combo package too. You can get the key set and the wallet if you want. You can just the wallet by itself as well. But same kind of setup for the keys too. You fan them on out, and there they are, easy to access. So Ridge Wallet is great. Razor likes it already. You can see him running in here. Finally, we get Razor in the mix. And there's a lot that you will enjoy. It's a great investment, especially the wallet. Especially the wallet. If you do anything, I would recommend getting the wallet because they give you a lifetime guarantee with this. And it's such a strong, sturdy. You can already tell that you're going to get your bang for your buck when it comes to this. And like I said, yeah, lifetime guarantee. They give you the tools to tighten the screws if need be. But if for any reason you think it is not living up to your expectations, the wallet seems faulty or anything like that, you return it and you can get it replaced as well. So it's a great lifetime investment there. So get Ridge Wallet. The information is below, such as this. So right now, Ridge is having their huge Memorial Day sale. Get up to 40% off at ridge.com/rumor. Just head to ridge.com/rumor to see the biggest sale of the year. After you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that Rumor and Innuendo sent you. And look, they have so many different styles that you can get. This was just, I think it's called Burnt Titanium was the one I got, but they have NFL teams. They have Major League Baseball teams. So it's really cool. If you're a huge sports fan or anything like that, you want to get a great wallet that has a lifetime guarantee. Boom. This is the one you get. Ridge.com/rumor, 40% off Memorial Day sale. Help support the show in a big way by supporting Ridge Wallet here. So thank you, Ridge Wallet. All right. Didn't have a whole lot really else on tap here. So if you guys have some questions or anything, yeah. Yeah, Devin, I could show you the debit card. There's not a whole lot you're going to get out of there. To be honest. Dre Owens also adds Hangman in Texas writes itself. It's a great point, Dre. It's a really great point. Where would you fit Hangman if he didn't win that Owen Hart Cup? You know, I mean, he's not from Texas, so I guess technically it's not that big of a deal, but he's a cowboy, so it does fit in a lot of ways. So yeah, I don't know what you could necessarily do where you'd put him at. Swerve would need a dance partner. Maybe you can conclude that finally. To be honest, I'm really over the feud between Hangman and Swerve. It's been fun. It hasn't been my favorite. Let's just say that. It really hasn't. I mean, and both guys I like, but it's just like you're drinking blood, you're giving syringes in the mouth. It just seemed that they went way overboard. The fact I didn't like too. I think it really hurt Swerve to be stalking Hangman's newborn baby. Just it was a weird thing to do, and it seems like a thing you cannot come back from. And then people were also freaked out by Hangman Page burning down Swerve's childhood home. Listen, if you stalk my kid, you stalk my newborn son, and you're not living in a house, I'm not gonna necessarily support arsonism here, but it makes sense from a storytelling standpoint. I'm like, that is not as bad as walking in and staring at somebody's child in their bedroom. It's like, that's weird, creepy, irreprehensible. So their feud has not been my favorite. It has not been. Yeah, just hasn't. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way? I don't know. Dre Owen says, if Ospreay versus Mox at All In, then Hangman versus Fletcher. Oh, good point. Could be it. I think they need some more work to do, to be honest, with Fletcher. I think he's really talented. I think he got good charisma and stuff like that. But yeah, you could make it happen for All In. You could. Also interesting that All Out is taking place in Toronto. So no Chicago this year. So AEW is really pivoting from making their mainstays. Double or Nothing's not in Vegas. It's in Arizona this year. And then All Out in not in Chicago. It's in Toronto. So wow, crazy stuff. More to talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about Dynamite, what happens, the fallout from all that stuff. And then on Friday, obviously, we'll preview Double or Nothing. Talk about that. Yes, Triple E, as he mentioned, Fonzie is going live today, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We may have a special guest. So tune in to rvdtv.com. Obviously, we'll be talking about Sabu, and Fonzie shares some stories regarding all that. Fonzie was also in St. Louis this past weekend for a Bruiser Brody Memorial. Sabu was actually supposed to be there. So, but Fonzie will have some stories from that as well. And he always loves taking questions from fans and everything like that. It's a very interactive show. We do it every other week. Typically, that's what we're aiming for on Wednesday nights. So catch it tonight, rvdtv.com, and you can have Dynamite on while you enjoy some time with Fonzie, baby, daddy. That's how you do it. And then tomorrow, likely RVD and I will be going live. So rvdtv.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, bookmark that stuff, and help get the word out. As Robert is on assignment this week, I'm sure at some point or another, he and Scott will get together to do a recording of Working Stiff. But you can also sign up for the Patreon there and get some cool stuff with Working Stiff. You can get their history of wrestle roasts, and they roasted so many different talents over the years before I hopped on as producer. So you can go to the backlog. There's hours and hours and hours of them roasting all your favorite wrestlers and some of your not favorite wrestlers. So give that a check out. And that should do it. I will see you all tomorrow. If you tune into the Daily Wrestling Hotline, type in Brass Ring Media on your YouTube, and that should pop up, and check out the latest one coming up later today. But best of luck in your future endeavors, and go New York, go New York, go. Let's go Knicks, baby. Yeah, all right. I'm awful at basketball. Oh, I didn't hit end. Bye, guys.